Hello everyone, welcome to KISE live streaming show. I'll be your host Zach Jologe, and we'll start by thanking my deity for giving me this pep to be here. So today I am here with one of my colleague, and I would like her to introduce herself.
Okay. My name's Elizabeth Mutinda. I'm a head of Department Journalism and Mass Communication and a lecturer at KISE.
Oh, wow, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So once we talk about journalism, what is journalism and mass media communication?
Well, I'll start by defining journalism, and then I'll go to mass communication. Well, journalism is a process, and we say it's a process because it's an activity. So it's that activity of a journalist going out to the field, of course, gathering, assessing, and then presenting information or news. It doesn't only have to be news. It also can be any other information, maybe entertainment and stuff like that. Whereas mass communication now is that process we use to impart the information through mass media, which the mass media can be either TV, radio, etc., to a large number of people with the help of technology, of course. And under mass communication, we have 4 types. We have the print media, which is all about the newspapers and magazine. We also have the broadcast media, which is the television and radio. And then we also have the outdoor or transit media, which includes the billboards, the banners, the posters. And then you've seen these big screens that are used for advertising. That is also outdoor, And then lastly, we have the digital media, or the new media, which includes the social media, the e-books, the online books, the online newspapers, websites, podcasts, and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once if somebody may ask, the online platforms, can you classify the online platform as a part of mass communication?
Yeah, they are, as long as, remember I've said that journalism is the act of gathering information and passing it to the people. After now assessing, giving due weight to each story or maybe information and passing it to the people. As long as it's information, you'll find that we have website which do, like, for example, the FIFA, the Football Federation and all that, maybe the Olympics, they have their websites. You'll find that most things, they do not have the TV or the radio station, but they can do it online. So as long as it's passing information to the people, it's also it's communication.
So even selling online,
advertising online, because also advertising is part of journalism too.
Okay. Thank you. So what does media ethics entail?
Well, media ethics, we say ethics is science of morals generally, and morals is what determines, or maybe what determines how, or it affects our behavior, it determines how we behave or conduct ourselves. But in relation to news convergence or maybe news coverage, it deals with objectivity, being objective. It deals with subjectivity, not being biased. When you are reporting information, you have to give both sides of the story due weight. And it also looks at advertising practices and also legal issues like maybe copyright and defamation and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once you talk about copyright, what is copyright? Because you have already mentioned the copyright.
Okay. So the law of copyright, it's it's a part, I don't know if it's a part of law, but it's a branch of law known as intellectual property.
Okay.
And it usually helps someone. It can be anyone. It can be a musician, it can be an author, it can be a producer, it can be a script writer, to prevent their work from being copied. And if the work has been copied, what can they get? Or rather, when let's say for example you have your music on a beat and all that, and then someone copies it without your consent, so you can, as long as you've copyrighted that piece of art, whatever it is, you can sue that person and get paid. And also when it comes to copyright and journalism, is that, you know, I'm a journalist, and I have, maybe I'm a freelancer, or maybe a content developer or creator. I might want to use someone's piece of music in my, maybe there's a slideshow of pictures and I want to put music. I need to understand copyright, because one, I might want to use someone else's work, and another thing that you need to understand copyright when you're a journalist, it's because you might also own your own work, whether it's a book, a publication, a story, a script, and stuff like that. And again, when it comes to copyright, you can also, it's usually like I don't know if I should say borrow, but you can give it to someone else through two means. One is assignment, and the other one is license. When we talk about assignment in copyright, when you give someone else your work through assignment, it's that you are lending a part of, or maybe a part or the whole thing to that person for a period of time, but license is usually permanent. When you give someone right to use your work,
or even if it's a picture or music,
it's through two ways. One, assignment, the second one is license. And copyright applies to a number of works. It can be original or dramatic, musical, artistic work. It also applies to sound. It applies to recordings, it applies to film, and it applies to broadcast. And that group is the typographical arrangements of published edition, anything published.
I like that. The information is flowing. What is defamation in journalism?
I've talked about defamation, and defamation generally is that act of damaging someone's reputation, and mostly it's usually used by politicians for political gains and stuff like that. But also again, when it comes to journalists, you might find that one is doing a report maybe on a prominent person, and remember when I was defining ethics, I talked about subjectivity and objectivity. So that person might be doing a story about a prominent person, maybe a celebrity, you know, a president, and they do not like that person, so you end up ruining their reputation, saying bad stuff about that particular person which are not true. So that act is what we call defamation. And we have two types of defamation. We have libel, which is defamation by word of mouth, and then we have this, libel is defamation, it's written defamation when a reporter writes a piece, or maybe in a magazine, or maybe online. And then we have the slander, which is now defamation by word of mouth or oral. I just say bad things or bad stuff about someone just by word of mouth without writing and everything.
Interesting. For we want to study journalism, so which some of the units or should they take, or somebody may learn? I'd say that all units are important, which will be assigned for once you've enrolled. We have media ethics, we have media ethics and media law. We have English for journalists, we have media and society, we have sports journalism. So I believe all those are important because they are there to guide you as a journalist. But mostly the most units which usually
it's like a must for you to know it's about the media ethics and regulation and media law, because those are, they deal with legal issues and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how dangerous is investigative journalism?
Well, investigative journalist is kind of hard, because you are trying to, when it comes to investigation, is you trying to how do I put it, like trying to expose maybe someone, or expose bad, maybe it's a company, and stuff like that. So there's nothing good about exposing someone. So when it comes to investigative journalists, sometimes also it's not about the people. It might be, maybe you might be sent in another country and stuff like that. So when it comes to exposing companies and people, you might get threats, physical or maybe through social media and everything, or maybe you can be attacked. And another thing about investigative reporting is that you might be sent somewhere, like if you get sent to a place where there is the military, there are fights, maybe like let me give an example of the Russia and Ukraine. If you are sent there, the environment and all that. So usually it's not, I won't say it's bad. It's a very rewarding career. It's a rewarding career, because if you look at the media world, journalism field, you'll find that the investigative journalists are the ones on top, because it's risky, but again it's good and it's rewarding. But there are some dangers which come with, I've just mentioned a few, the climatic condition, the threats and all that.
Okay. And I hope once we are talking about investigative journalism, it's like an example like Chichopev.
An example of our very own was Muhammad Ali, and also the NTV's guy, I'm not mentioning names, but they also do the investigative stories and all that.
Okay.
A good example is Muhammad Ali.
How is the job market for someone who have journalism skills?
In our country, like you'll find that mostly the people who are being employed is the comedians. The comedians, you find so many comedians in the TV stations, the talk shows and the radio shows. But I'd say as long as you have the skills that takes you to be a good journalist, and once you've gone there, reported, you've submitted your resume or CV and everything, as long as they see the skills, you will get employed. So it all takes only the skills, but I believe in our country it's kind of hard, because some want to be bribed and stuff like that. But as long as you have the skills, you will get the job eventually.
Okay. KISE is offering journalism studies as a course. What are the requirements?
Well, we offer a certificate, diploma and advanced diploma. And for certificates, we usually, the requirement is a D and above. Well, for a diploma, it's a C- and above.
What about advanced diploma?
Advanced diploma, now you do it after the diploma. You can't jump to the advanced diploma.
Okay. And how does that course takes how long?
Well, you might decide to do certificate, which takes a year, or 2 years. It depends on how you want to be good at it. Well, diploma takes 2 years.
And our last question, how do you feel about the regulations and its effects on journalism?
The regulation, the media regulation is kind of I don't know how to say it, but you will find that we have content creators, people who are trying out there to get information for people. They have YouTube channels, they have websites, they have Facebook pages and all that. But I believe that as long as the information that they are trying to pass, it doesn't, have issues to do with censorship, or maybe issues to do with legal issues like defamation and copyright and all that, I believe that the regulation is doing okay. Like the Media Council of Kenya is doing okay with the regulation part.
And I forgot to ask you one question.
Okay.
Yeah, who is a newscaster?
A newscaster or a news anchor is someone who usually we find them in the studio, because we have different people in journalism, from the reporters and all that. So they are the ones who you find in the studio, the ones when you work studios as reading out the news and all that.
Okay. So which advice can you give to those people who may need to join KISE and study the journalism and media studies?
Okay, so any person who is watching us there and they're interested to join KISE family, we welcome you with open arms. Please do come. If you want more guidance, we can guide you on everything that you want to be guided on. And there are when it comes to journalism, we have so many career paths that you can take. You can be a reporter, that is, we have different types of reporters, from the investigative ones and all that. You can be an editor, you can be a copy taster, you can be a news writer, you can be a news anchor, you can be a content developer, you can also work as a PR for different companies. You can also work in the advertising companies and all that. So please come join us. The intake is ongoing.
Oh wow, well done. Thank you all the viewers for watching us. We appreciate you. Don't forget to like our page, leave a comment. Let's meet tomorrow, the same place, same time. Bye.